Okay, I just chucked it in at the end. Now, we have a headline from the New York Times. It is a poll. 80% of Republicans say party leaders should support Donald Trump, even if you disagree with him. 8 out of 10 say get behind the guy. Louis Gohmert is here, Republican from Texas. Will you now openly support Donald Trump?
I guess we need to define what support is, and this has been what's held me back. And one of my daughters told me 2 weeks ago, "Dad, you need to explain yourself better," when I was trying to explain something to her. But so let me explain. Support means I'm willing to go on the stump. I'm willing to go across the country and speak for you, stand up for you, defend you. That's a whole lot different than going into the voting booth and voting for the better of the two choices, or, you know, some elections we've had the lesser of two evils. And so I will always set aside everything personal and vote for the better candidate, whoever that is. And in this case, between Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump, it is Donald Trump. And by the way, let me say this about what you just pointed out about the fear-mongering about Trump in foreign affairs. Stuart, that's the best thing a presidential candidate or president can have going for them. The presidents who have been best on foreign matters and on keeping the world safe have been presidents that have been projected as being a little bit crazy. You couldn't figure out what they'll do. They might actually push the button. You couldn't trust them. Reagan.
Yes.
You know, you look back at Roosevelt. I'm talking Teddy Roosevelt. Those that were projected as being, you know, cool and calm, and, you know, they wouldn't do anything overreacting. Kennedy. It took him 3 years to show that he could stand up and have a backbone.
Okay. And
the world got to the brink of nuclear disaster because of it. So actually, Stuart, that's one of the things in Trump's favor on foreign matters is the world is not sure about him. That's a great for a presidential candidate.
You see, you're so popular on this program, it's very difficult to jump in on you when you're in the middle of making a point. And so I have to give you the first 60 seconds at least. Just run on.
Oh, sorry.
So I want to return to the original. Okay, you're not going to go out and stump for Donald Trump, but you will maybe recommend to your fellow Republicans, yep, he's the better of the two candidates. I'm on his side. You'd say that.
Well, I can say I will vote for him if it appears he'll be the nominee. And when I get in the voting booth in November and it's Trump and Hillary, there's no question who I'll vote for. That's not an issue at all.
Okay.
I mean,
so
and you brought up another
guy. You're not a never Trump guy in the sense that you don't want to be the nominee and you'll never vote. No, I know you didn't. No, I know you never said that. Yeah. I'm being fair here. But you're not in that camp that says
to get on
won't vote for him.
Yeah. Well, like for Ted, I've been in the trenches with him, and when you're fighting for the same objectives in Congress together, you get to know each other, and I knew I could trust him, and we had each other's back. I knew that. But, you know, I'm not there with Trump. I mean, you know, just last week he said Heidi Cruz is still fair game.
Oh,
really?
Okay.
I mean, he doesn't feel that way about his own wife. That's not a good idea. But let's look at what we have in front of us. And when it comes to Hillary Clinton, Stuart, it's become very clear. This administration, I've told you before, they'll never indict her as long as she doesn't say anything critical of the Obama administration. So I think it is time for a special prosecutor, and this administration is now making clear they're not going to appoint a special prosecutor. They like having that over Clinton's head so she doesn't criticize Obama. I'm trying to draft legislation right now that will create the ability to have a special prosecutor that is not selected by the executive branch. I'm working on that.
Okay, I've got to get your opinion on this. It's about the Washington Redskins. The Washington Post has a poll which says 9 of 10 Native Americans are not offended by the Washington Redskins name. I just thought I'd chuck this into the end of the interview, see what you think, Louis. What do you say? You're from Texas. You know football.
Yeah. I love football, and there have been times since I was a huge fan of RG3. I knew him in college and just think the world of him. I actually pull for the Redskins many games. But let me tell you, I'm on the committee of jurisdiction over Native Americans, and we've had hearings, including out in California, where we had Native Americans come testify, and they come in and say, I'm so-and-so from the Indian tribe of such and such, and they refer to themselves as Indian. And so it just seems to me it's a bunch of leftists that are the ones that get all offended. It doesn't seem to be the Native Americans that are all that upset about it.
You're right. Louis, I got to go, but as always,
okay, thank you, Stuart.
Thank you,
sir.
Thank you.